I know what you are thinking. You are seeing his tongue and are thinking stinger. You are looking into his eyes and thinking you're seeing into a cold-blooded killer. But honestly, guys, his name is Zeus, and he's just trying to use his 2 brain cells to figure out if my camera is a giant blueberry or not. Welcome back to the Morphing Serpents channel. If you're new to this channel, my name is Ryan Sungard. Here we are, Morphing Serpents, and today we're going to dive into a little bit more about these incredible animals that we get to work with every day. Well, before we get started, guys, I'd just like to say I am a beginner at making YouTube videos, so I do apologize for any mistakes as I go along here. Zeus here, he's a beginner too, but hey, we're just on part of this journey trying to help break the ice on this whole thing we call reptile keeping. Like his scary tongue, I just his 3D smelling. He's not trying to taste me to see if I'm delicious. He's just checking his GPS to find the nearest heat map. And you guys are pretty intelligent, so please don't take me seriously when I say you only have 2 brain cells. What I was referring to as far as the 2 brain cells is the 2 tips on the end of his tongue, and we'll get into more of that in this video, guys. So stick around and you might learn something new. Today we are looking at the secret powers of the ball python. Some of their powers include their tongues, their scales, and even their eyes. And that's something you guys, I think, you might find very interesting with these little guys. Once you get past the scarier barrier, you guys will be incredible to what you might find out about these truly incredible animals that we get to have the pleasure of owning and taking care of. Let's start off with the tongue. Like all snakes, the ball python has a forked like tongue that helps them smell. How it works is when they flick their tongue, they have 2 tips that pick up chemical molecules in the air. And when they retract it back into what we call the brain of the mouth, or the Jacobson organ, these their 2 little tips will go back in these small holes in their mouth that basically acts as a sense of direction or telling them where to go. And because their tongue is forked, they're able to sense a higher concentration of that scent on either side, indicating them which direction to follow or go to, acting as basically like a 3D map for them. I wasn't quite clear in that previous video, which I apologize, because like I said, guys, I keep making mistakes. Those 2 holes are what we call the Jacobson organ. Now there's another name for that. There ain't no way I'm going to pronounce that without getting my tongue tied. So I'm just going to go with the easier version, which is called the Jacobson organ. And like I said, that's those 2 holes in their mouth that those tips that fit in very nicely just for that purpose. Just want to clarify that. Alright, let's move on to snake eyes, or specifically ball python eyes. Ball python eyes are adapted to be able to see in low light, and their eyes are very much different from ours. Their eyes, for example, they don't have eyelids, they can't blink, they can't close their eyes, which instead they actually have a permanent transparent scale or basically an eye cap that acts as a transparent lid that protects them from debris while still allowing them to see through that eye cap. And their eyes are, again, different from us. We have round pupils. Their pupils, what would be more representable like a cat-like pupil of the vertical shape, which is commonly found in the nocturnal ambush predators, which honestly fits these guys. It allows them to control how much light they're allowing to enter their eye, which helps them guide them through the night, and as they're searching for their prey, and as well as keep themselves from other predators, which is a key thing that they have to use on top of their sense of smell. Again, I'm back to the whole flicking of the tongue. Their eyes also, when you see that their eyes are getting clouded, that's because there is fluid getting built in between the old eye cap and the new one that's creating fluid that is to help their shedding process. So when you guys have your ball python or really any snake shed and you're seeing their eyes gloss over into a cloudy like color, that's what's going on. They're building up fluid that is helping them shed that old eye cap, making a much smoother process, which unfortunately tends to cause them to go off the feed for a few days, because essentially it makes them basically blind, and which puts them into a tremendous amount of stress. Again, which is why they come off of that feed. If they can't see, they don't know what's what. So they're going to want to try to keep themselves safe until that shedding process is over with. So ball pythons, they have 3 different types of scales. They have their dorsal scales, and they have the ventral scale, and they have the anal spurs. So the dorsal scales is what you see on the sides and top of their body. They kind of give that small and like beaded-like look to them, which is actually pretty cool, because that actually provides a bit of a water barrier for them and a bit of protection for them as they are burrowing through their homes and slithering out through their lives. The ventral scales, that is the underbelly scale that you see. That is what kind of gives them a bit of a grip to kind of grab on, to kind of pull themselves up. They don't actually kind of slither. It's more of a, they are grabbing with little hands underneath, if you have to pull themselves up, and that's what they are. And those anal scales, they are actually leftover feet, as believe it or not, from their ancestors that were left behind as part as they were developing into their new life cells as they ascended from their ancestors. So I think that's pretty cool, because not only do they have their own super bit of powers, but they also have a little bit of history to them that still kind of lingers with them to this day. So technically, snakes and ball python, and ball pythons, that's what we're kind of talking about today. They technically do have feet, but we just call them anal spurs because they don't really have toes, nothing like that. But that's essentially what they are from their ancestors as they have developed over time. Alright, so we've covered their tongues, their eye, and even the scales, which are pretty cool powers if you ask me, with what comes in all that. But I think we're yet to discuss the best one yet, and that's, I honestly kind of consider more of a superpower, and that's their labial pitch. I'll try to show you here on Ghost. If I can put a little clicker down here. If you can kind of see right here, I'll be very cooperative tonight. He's kind of, it's more of his cruising time, so I apologize. But if you can kind of see up front, his front, you see those little holes in his upper lips right there. Those are what we call labial pits. They actually kind of act as a kind of like a radiation heat type source. That's what helps them detect their heat source, heat signatures from their prey, such as rabbits, mice, rats, and what have you. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm going to go ahead and put him back because he is not wanting to be part of the show today. Sorry about that, guys. Ghost wasn't very interested in being part of our YouTube video tonight. And all the history fans, this is usually his time where he's most active, and he likes to have his own time to himself, where he likes to cruise around. He has a tree and a little bit of rock spot, having his enclosure that he likes to hang out on. And if you take him away from that, it gets a little squirrely. So he's back where he's happy, and he's watching a movie. Yes, it's kind of weird, but I do put on a movie for them. But that's just me. You do what you want with your animals, but you know what? He tends to stare at it, and I tend to think he's looking at something. So I don't know if it's just me or him using his 2 brain cells, or if it's just me using my 2 brain cells. But hey, it works, and he's happy. I'm happy. Labial pitch. Think of it as like thermal imaging. They are there to detect infrared radiation, heat, essentially. So heat sensing pits is what they are for, and that's then to help locate their prey, such as rats, birds, mice, bunnies, what have you. In my mind, where the true superpower part comes into play here when it comes to their labial pits is the precision of them. They are able to detect the smallest change in as far as the heat source. I mean, they can sense up to, I want to say, 0.003 Celsius. I mean, that is complete darkness, the very lowest of heat they could able to detect in a map in a very dark area. And that kind of precision, to me, it's just absolutely phenomenal and super cool. Come on, guys, you can't tell me that's not like a superpower. Guys, so I think we covered some pretty great areas, and in my opinion, those 4 areas that we covered seem to be kind of the biggest things I see get misconstrued as something scary, terrifying, like the very sharp, evil tongue that they come flicking out of their mouth. Which really, guys, again, that's just their way of smelling, and it kind of, in a sense, it gives you the vibe that they're feeling. You know, if it's a short, long flick, they're relaxed, they're just hanging out. You know, so another thing they can be, if they're quicker, shorter flicks, that just indicates curiosity. Kind of just searching for new scents that they're smelling with those 2 tips in their mouth, and the rapid flicks that you may see them do. That might just get more cautious, kind of the surroundings. They might be kind of making them wonder if they should hide or not. These you guys understand, snakes, ball pythons, reptiles, the whole pit caboodle. They're not terrifying. They are truly misunderstood creatures, and if we just push past that fear barrier, I promise you guys would many more would fall in love with these truly amazing creatures. Unfortunately, they just get the bad rap because they look scary. They have horns. They have scales. You know, it's like looking at a dragon almost. But really, they're just sweet, lovable animals. You know, whether they're very intelligent or 2 grown brain cells trying to decipher if a camera's a big old fat blueberry or not. You know, we all have the moments too. They're just like us, and honestly, they're more peaceful than we are. They just look what they can do to survive, and again, they get a very interesting animals. And I truly hope this video helps you guys push past that fear barrier and actually take the time to get to know these animals, get to know the reptiles, and just hopefully take a further dive into this amazing hobby that we get to participate in. Because at the end of the day, the only thing that's stopping you is the fear of the unknown. Personally, I'd rather not be controlled by fear. I'd much rather be controlled by knowledge, because you never know what you're missing out on behind that next door that you're too afraid to open. Alright, Morphers, that's it for this time. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did, please hit a like. And if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. That helps us grow. If you guys find this video helpful, please let us know in the comments. If you guys have some other areas you'd like for us to cover, again, please comment below. We appreciate all feedbacks. I know we ain't perfect. Again, I am a beginner when it comes to YouTube videos, so I do sincerely apologize. I hope I'm getting better. I do plan on continuing to work at my best to make these videos better for you guys. Well, until next time, Morphers, keep morphing, and we'll keep morphing the difference as we go along, making these amazing quality feeders